Yo, what's going on? It's Joe, back here again on Joe Talks, and today we're going to talk about Apple, man. Hey, Apple's smart. They know what they're doing. If I can get the camera right, hold on, I'm messing up. Apple knows what they're doing. Uh, Even though now, compared to what Apple used to be, they're a pretty shitty company. But hey, man, they're smart. Instead of just dropping a phone, they dropped a bunch of other things: computers, iPads, desktops, iMacs, stuff like that, watches, smart homes. They know what they're doing. The ecosystem. Now we gotta talk about the ecosystem. The ecosystem for Apple is just too easy to use, too user friendly, and trust me, they got me trapped. There's been so many times I wanted to go back to Android, but I just can't. I just can't. Even if the Android phones are better, I just can't leave Apple, man. They got me good. Ever since my parents got me my first iPhone in what was it, junior year, I think. I think junior year I got the iPhone 10, the X, whatever you want to call it, and then ever since then, man, never looked back. And I don't know. I just feel like Apple's getting really lazy as a company because let's be honest, pretty much every phone since the iPhone 12 has been the same thing. Oh yeah, they got rid of the bezel, made the bezel smaller up top or whatever. Man, about time for Apple to be full screen. Like, come on, man. Like pretty much been the exact same phone since the iPhone 12, which is unfortunate because after I had the iPhone 10, I ended up buying my iPhone. I think I got an 11 Pro Max. I bought that myself. But I fucking messed up because honestly, say I didn't mess up with the storage, who knows? I might still have the 11 Pro Max. Because for those of y'all who don't know, back then the standard iPhone only came with what was it, 64 gigabytes. That's crazy to think about that now. Back then, the base model was just 64 gigabytes. Now I think the base model was what, at least 128. But yeah, back then it was only 64 gigabytes of storage. So I ended up filling that up real quick. I didn't get the 12, but I ended up getting the 13 Pro Max. I ended up specking that out, got everything, and then it broke. Unfortunately, it broke last year, and I ended up getting the iPhone 15, just the base iPhone 15, because I wasn't trying to pay pro prices, and I just needed a phone. I really didn't care less about what it was, but yeah, I just don't really understand. Uh, yeah, I just wish I didn't. I wish my 13 didn't break. Like, if my 13 didn't break, I would for sure still have my 13. But I think I got the 512 gigabyte. I had that nice light blue for those y'all that remember the 13 Pro Max color or just the 13 Pro color, whatever you want to call it. That nice light blue they had that year, man. But yeah, ended up RIP, and so it is what it is. And then eventually over the years, I got an iMac, I got an iPad Pro, I had an Apple Watch. Unfortunately, the iPad Pro and Apple Watch are no longer here. They both, ended up, breaking, say you want to put it that way. They ended up breaking. So yeah, right now I only have a phone and the iMac, but honestly for what I'm doing right now, YouTube, and then just like I said, everything is on Apple for me. I've had Apple since what? I was a sophomore, since 2018 I've had Apple, man. So I got all my photos, all my text messages, and that's something I'll give Apple props for. So like when I'm on my iMac, boom, I can see everything. I can see my text messages, I can call people, I can do all that. It's just so convenient. And then even when you're on your phone, so say you have the same app on the computer like you do on your phone. When you're on that app, it'll pop up like a shortcut at the bottom dock for you to click it, and then you'll be able to pick up where you left off on your phone. Like, hey, Apple knew what they were doing, man. But yeah, and then the thing with me is I don't even got the new M1 or M4, whatever it's called, iMac. Even though I need one, I got one of the old, what was it, the Intel ones, the 27-inch. I still got that old dinosaur. Got that in like what? I think I got that around the same time I got the phone. I can't quite remember. But yeah, I got that dinosaur. It's still working. I will say this: it is really slow, but I'm not sure if it's really slow because I left it in a closet for 3 years, or if just old age caught up to it. Because this one, like the Intel ones, don't even get the new Mac OS anymore. They're still on the old ones. Yes, they still update it, but it's not on the new Mac OS. I'm pretty sure, but. Yeah, in my opinion, man, Apple knows what they're doing. And then also in my case, my dumb ass goes along and gets a HomeKit smart home. So I'm really stuck now with Apple. You know, my whole house runs off HomeKit Apple. You know, got 3 HomePods. Like shit, it's crazy, man. The only thing Apple is missing is an actual TV. And yes, I know they got the Apple TV box, but I'm surprised by now Apple hasn't made a actual TV themselves. To be honest with you, because they're already using Samsung screens on their phones now, so why not use a Samsung screen on a TV? You know, or if maybe Samsung wouldn't want to do that because that'd be kind of stupid. That'd be kind of shooting themselves in the foot. And speaking of Samsung, other brands have tried to do what Apple is doing. I know Samsung tries to do something with other Smart Things app. At least for me, whenever I try to use the Smart Things app, it's really glitchy, and it doesn't work half the time. So I don't know if that's a user error or if it's a glitch for me or I'm just stupid. Probably all the above. But yeah, Samsung has tried, but nothing beats Apple's user-friendly ecosystem. I'm just being honest. And then, hey, say you're someone in school, you know, and you need to transfer, you know, documents or whatever from your phone to your computer or vice versa. Say you have an iPhone and a what is it, MacBook, the laptop or whatever, or even an iPad. Because when I have my iPad Pro, man, that bitch is pretty much a laptop at this point, you know, with how powerful the iPads are. But say you have an iPad or a MacBook and you want to transfer documents like a schoolwork or whatever, you could easily airdrop it, or you could easily I think you can just transfer the file over. I don't know, but like there's so many easy ways to do stuff with Apple. It's just unfortunate, Steve Jobs, RIP Steve Jobs, the company's been kind of in a standstill. And Tim Cook I don't like Tim Cook. Tim Cook is a boring dude, it seems like. Like I said, ever since the iPhone 12, they've been the exact same phone. There's no point of updating. And then they wanted to push with the iPhone 15s, they wanted to push, oh, we got USB-C. Only took us 10, 20 years, but we got it now. And then I'm like, dude, everyone's been had Type C's. At this point, you might as well just stay Lightning, because all the iPhones I had prior, I got a bunch of Lightning cables. Then I get the 15, like I said last year, because my 13 Pro Max, well, was smashed. The 13 Pro Max was still on the Lightning. I think the 14 was the last phone on the Lightning. Then the 15s were the first phone with the USB-C. But Apple, they don't call it by the actual name. They make their own name. Oh, it's a Thunderbolt port, so that's what Apple is. But damn, I lost my train of thought. USB-C. But no, okay, so yeah, back to the USB-C. I mean, so at this point, if you're gonna switch to a USB-C now, you might as well just stick to the Lightning cable, cause I got a bunch of Lightning cable charging cords, but I have none USB-Cs. Like I think I had one for my Beats headphones, and that was it. And that cord's like probably about this big. It's not a crazy long cord. So it's like, dude, at this point, you're being annoying. And then on top of it, you don't include chargers in the box no more. Like Apple, Tim Cook, get your ass out of there, bruh. Tim Cook, get your ass out of there, bruh. You annoying, man. But yeah, it's the same shit every year, man. And then, hey, like I said, trying to push Type C. Y'all are way late to the party. Might as well have just stayed Lightning, because like in my instance, I had to go and buy Type C chargers because I didn't have a Type C, because Apple was never using a USB-C charger before. So I don't know, but it's just kind of stupid in my opinion. But yeah, Tim Cook, man, get your head out of your ass, bro. And then iPhones, man. And then you also got to look at it like this: the iPhone prices are going up like crazy for the same shit. Like the same shit. Like it makes no sense. But at the end of the day, man, Apple has me trapped, man. They got me trapped from the ecosystem. I'll say this: say you're someone that uses Apple products, but you're not one that is like, oh, I gotta have the newest Apple device every year once it drops. Oh my god. Say you're not like that, then you're good. But say you are like that, then yeah, you're just lost because I can only imagine how much money you spend a year, unless it's your job. Because I know these YouTubers, shit. Well, most of these YouTubers that do the reviews get the product sent. They ain't even got to spend money. But for the ones that do spend money, hey, I guess it's worth it if you review it and do all that. But say you're just a normal, average Joe like me, no pun intended. I wouldn't. I wouldn't consider getting a new phone every year. I mean, the 17, I watched some videos on the 17. Oh, let's change the backing. Oh, let's increase the battery life. Oh, like, but it's the same phone. It's the exact same phone, you know. So, and then their sales been declining every year since the 15, I think. I think the 16 sales were trash. I don't think the 15 sales were too much better. So yeah, just got to see what 17 is. They need to make a budget phone. And I was seeing they're talking about a budget iPhone Air or something. That would be cool, but you already know how Apple budgets stuff, you know. It'll probably have a 60 hertz screen still when you can get other Androids with 120 hertz screens, you know, for cheaper. It's probably still gonna have a 60 hertz screen, probably gonna have a terrible camera, probably gonna have a terrible battery life. Like you already know how Apple makes budget products. They make budget products, you know, budget to their eyes, but you know their budget. So to their eyes, $600-700 for a phone is a budget, but in reality, a budget phone is like 400, shit, 300, honestly, you know. So and then like I said, for phones that are less than Apple, that are Android, you get a better camera and 120 hertz refresh rate on the screen. You already know how Apple budgets stuff. It's not, you know, it's trash. But I don't know, man. Just gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm not gonna be buying a new phone. But hey, who knows? I might. You never know. But yeah, say you're like me, trapped in the ecosystem. Don't feel bad. Trust me, I've been wanting to get the new Samsungs for a minute. I really been wanting to try out them folds, but just I got everything on Apple. Everything's convenient, and then whatever device you have, you know, it just automatically syncs up with it. It's crazy. It's amazing. You know, whoever made up that idea, Steve Jobs probably made up that idea because I'm pretty sure Apple's always been able to do that. Yeah, Steve Jobs, man. Shit, hey, I'm gonna be honest. I wish you were still around, man. If Steve Jobs was still around, who knows where Apple would be right now? Who knows what kind of crazy stuff they'd be having out? And like I say, Tim Cook, get your head out of your ass or step the fuck down, you know, because so far it's been a copy paste since the what is it iPhone 12. Along with the exception for the iPhone 15 saying, oh, we shrunk the bezel up top. That's a change. Like, okay, you know, I want a whole new body design. I want an iPhone that's full screen. I want an iPhone that has Face ID and fingerprint sensor. Like, I mean, it's not that hard. Android already has all these things. Like I say, Samsung, bro, Samsung is the phone to get, but hey, say you got a bunch of Apple products, hey, you kind of like me stuck in the ecosystem, then hey, you just got to be patient on Apple, I guess. But until then, they won't be getting any more of my money until they make a big change to the phones. That's just how it is. But anyways, I'm kind of rambling now. So I'm going to cut the vid off here. So you guys enjoyed the vid. A like and subscribe would be appreciated. And I'll catch y'all later. Peace.